Hi guys, today we're going to make the most delicious short rib you've ever tasted. We're going to serve it with some caramelized shallots, a garden salad and some beautiful brioche bread. So, let's begin. First we'll start by brining the short rib. Mix 150 grams of nitrate salt with 3 liters of water and dissolve this. Now add 2 beautiful pieces of short rib and make sure that they're submerged completely. Let it brine for 24 hours in your fridge. After that, transfer them on an oven rack and dry them completely with kitchen paper. Then heat up a big pan, add a splash of oil and pan fry the short rib till golden. Do this on both sides. Meanwhile, cut the root from 5 shallots and cut them in half. Now chop them. Also cut 5 cloves of garlic in half. Then remove the short ribs from the pan and start caramelizing the shallots and the garlic. Once golden, add 5 bay leaves and deglaze it with 1 liter of jus de veau or demi-glace and let it simmer for 30 minutes. Now transfer the short ribs into a big pot together with the deglazing liquid and then submerge it completely with water or beef stock. Then we're going to cover it with parchment paper. For this, take a piece of parchment and fold it until you can't fold it no more. Now cut it to the desired size and cut a small hole in the middle. Then cover the pan and let the short rib come to a boil on a medium heat. Once it's boiling, transfer the pan into an oven that's 85 degrees Celsius and cook it for 14 hours. You can also do this sous vide. I always do it overnight. The next day you can remove the parchment from the top and gently transfer the short ribs on an oven rack. Let it cool down for 5 minutes and then gently turn them around. Now pull out the bones. Then use a sharp knife to cut away the membrane or any fat. Turn it around once more and gently remove the fat. Keep all the trimmings for later. Now lay a piece of parchment paper in a container and put your short rib on top. Cover this with parchment paper and then another container. Now let it set in your fridge for 3 hours while putting something heavy on top. Meanwhile, take the cooking liquid and pass it through a fine sieve. Let it set in your fridge. Then use a spider to remove the solid fat and transfer it into a bowl. Keep it for later. After that, reduce the liquid for around 75%, but be careful that the liquid doesn't become too salty. Now pass it through a sieve once more and then season it with around 20 grams of coconut sugar and a proper amount of a nice balsamic vinegar. Give it a tasteful seasoning and then keep it in your fridge for later. Now for the brioche bread. First, transfer 250 grams of flour on your worktop and make a well in the middle using the back of your bowl. Fill the well with 3 eggs, 4 grams of dry yeast and 30 grams of sugar. Now mix this till a dough has formed. Then add 7 grams of salt and continue kneading the dough for around 15 minutes to activate the gluten. And yes, you can also do this in a machine. After that, add 150 grams of the short rib fat or butter. Knead this till all the fat is incorporated. This takes around 5 to 10 minutes. Then use a dough scraper to form the dough into a nice ball and transfer it into a bowl. Cover it and let it rest in your fridge for at least 5 hours. After that, dust your worktop with flour and roll out the dough. Now portion it into pieces of 15 grams. Then take the balls and roll them very tight by forming a little ball with your hand. Now transfer them in an oven ring or another mold that's covered with some butter or oil spray and let them brew for 45 minutes till almost doubled in size. Meanwhile, separate 1 egg and mix the yolk with 20 grams of milk. Brush a thin layer on your approved brioche and then season with flaky salt. Bake them at 190 degrees Celsius for around 15 minutes till golden. Once golden, brush a thin layer of melted butter on top and let them cool down completely. Then for the caramelized shallots. First, cut the root from a couple of thin shallots and then cut them in half. Now clean them. Then heat up a frying pan, Add a splash of oil and caramelize the shallots on a medium heat till they start to color. Now add a drizzle of honey and let it caramelize till golden brown. Then add a splash of red wine vinegar and let it vaporize. Now take them out of the pan and keep them covered in your fridge for later. Then the short rib crisp. Transfer 60 grams of the short rib trimmings in a blender together with 30 grams of egg white and 2 grams of salt. Now blend this till smooth. Then add 10 grams of flour and blend it once more. Now spread it on a silicone sheet and bake it at 160 degrees Celsius till golden and crispy. Gently remove it when it's still hot. Then keep it dry and covered for later. Now for the garden salad. For this I use a beautiful variety of homegrown leaves, shoots and flowers. Just bind everything together with a piece of blanched chives and trim the bottom with a sharp knife. Look at this beauty and trust me, the flavor is incredible. Then we can start to finish the dish. First remove the short rib from the container and peel the parchment paper off the meat. Then portion it into the desired size. Now heat up a frying pan, add a splash of oil and fry the short rib on both sides till nice and golden. Once golden, add the balsamic glaze and baste the short rib for a minute or so. Meanwhile, also heat up the shallots at 150 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes and season with flaky salt. Now lay 2 pieces on a plate and put the garden salad on top. Season it with a mix of 1 part of olive oil and 1 part of sushi vinegar. Place the crisp on top and then place the glazed shallot on the side. And then I serve it with the delicious short rib brioche bread. Okay guys, that's it for today. I'm super pleased with the result. The short rib looks amazing. The glaze is really so delicious. I already had a couple of pieces of brioche bread. It's out of this world. The flavor is incredible because of the short rib flavor, but the texture is exactly the same as when you make a brioche bread using butter. So that's pretty good. Yeah, let's just have a little bite. The short rib is super tender. Right now it's cold because I have to take pictures and everything, so it's been standing for 20-25 minutes. But the flavor is still going to be incredible, I'm sure. Yeah, that's so tender. The glaze is super flavorful. The balsamic gives it a nice fresh little note, the balsamic vinegar, but it's a really good one. So it brings a lot of depth as well. And because you first brine the short rib, the flavor of the cooking liquid becomes a little bit salty. So when you reduce it, really be careful that you don't reduce it too much, because then it's just too salty. But that's why I also added the coconut sugar to balance that out. So, well, it's just perfect. And this one, yeah, this one is delicious. I already ate almost everything. This is the last bread, so just gonna get a little bit of the glaze. That's always a good idea. Yeah, that's amazing. What I like to do when I'm eating in a proper restaurant and when they have a very good sauce, I always ask for sauce on the side, put it on my plate. I ask for some more bread and then just do like this. So good. Amazing, guys. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments on what you want to see next. Like and share the video and subscribe if you want to support my channel and see more amazing cooking videos. And as always, bon appetit!